honored guests, and esteemed colleagues, bienvenidos. Welcome to the 41st United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce National Conference. And in standing strong with the times, the first ever virtual event of the largest gathering of Hispanic business leaders in America. During this afternoon session, we'll hear from the USHCC President and CEO, Ramiro Cavazos, on the state of Latino business. We'll also be joined by the outgoing Chair of the Board of Directors, Carmen Castillo, and welcome the 2020 Board Chair, Alice Rodriguez. And it all starts now.
We are 60 million Latinos strong in America. We are 4.7 million Hispanic-owned businesses in America. We contribute $2.3 trillion to America's gross domestic product. Latinos are the 8th largest economy in the world. Latinos lead consumer spending in the United States of America. We will lead the American economy out of the COVID crisis. We are leaders. Latinos are employers and employees. We are America's workforce. We are business owners. We are innovators. Latinos are building America's business future. We are the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Before we begin, a word from our platinum sponsor, Nationwide.
Hi, I'm Carlos Gill, author and entrepreneur. This is Nick Delgado, president of Black Pen Whiteboard.
I'm Carla Sandoval, entrepreneur coach. Start to identify what stage in business are you in.
Once you find your edge, embrace it, invest in it, and leverage it as you compete in the market against others.
Colleagues and friends, the President and CEO of the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, Ramiro Cavazos.
Hola, welcome. Bienvenidos to each of you. Welcome to the 2020 United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce National Conference. We hope you're joining us in good health, safe and secure from your home or your business. We're honored that you've joined us today as we stand together, ready to work for our country's much-needed economic recovery. All of us, to create that brighter future for our families, need our businesses to be successful for generations to come. On behalf of our United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, we welcome you to our annual gathering. This is our 41st gathering since we were founded in 1979. We represent 4.7 million Hispanic-owned businesses, our nation's lifeblood. We're the nation's largest Latino business association with more than 260 Hispanic Chamber of Commerce throughout the country. We salute you for everything you've accomplished in your communities to confront this unrivaled, difficult time of this global illness, this economic challenge and social change. But we've overcome greater things. It's efforts like us today gathering as Latinos that we want to grow this community, the greatest nation in the world. As many of you know, we had planned to gather in Boca Raton, Florida at our national conference in person, looking forward to the abrazos, the besos, the handshakes, and the tremendous business deals. And we would have been making those deals in Florida, but things have changed. We're working in a virtual space using technology, and we've adapted and changed with them. In Boca Raton, like any business, the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce includes a team effort, and that includes our staff, our board of directors, and yes, our outgoing chairwoman, Carmen Castillo. She's the president and CEO of SDI International. She's headquartered in Boca Raton, and if we are successful as an organization, and this is my second year as CEO, I owe a lot to Carmen, leading a board of dedicated business leaders, and she has been an unstoppable force for good. And she does this expertly in 3 languages, English, Spanish, and leadership speak. She doesn't just do emails or phone. She actually works hard and gets into the trenches every day, every step of the way. These past 2 years, she has been a great partner, hands-on, guiding and partnering as we elevate our work towards success. At this time, please join me in welcoming my friend and colleague, the President and CEO of SDI International Corporation, our fabulous chairwoman who's outgoing but will continue to stay involved with us, Ms. Carmen Castillo.
Thank you, Ramiro, for your kind words. Hola, amigos, bienvenidos. Welcome to the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce virtual conference. On behalf of the Board of Directors, we would like to thank you for joining us to be part of the largest gathering of Hispanic business leaders. Our organization rises up to support Hispanic businesses and to create, innovate, and listen to our members to find new solutions and strengthen our programs. The last few unprecedented months have challenged all of us. In looking to the future, we know that Latinos and Latinas will be the leaders of the national recovery. The USHCC has a strong leadership, and I couldn't be prouder. First, I celebrate our President and CEO, Ramiro Cavazos, who joined us in 2018 and has truly grown our programs, our reach, our team, and our impact. A big thank you to the hardworking staff who is passionate about helping our Hispanic businesses grow. I would like to thank this network of 260 Hispanic Chambers of Commerce nationally and their leaders who are the change makers in their community. I applaud your leadership and commitment. The face of business ownership in America is changing, with minority-owned firms driving this growth in new business formation. In fact, Latinos open businesses at 3 times the rate of the national average, and Latinas open businesses at 6 times that rate. As a Hispanic business owner, I believe in the mission of the USHCC. Now, more than ever, we need to join forces to actively promote the economic growth, development, and interest of more than 4.7 million Hispanic-owned businesses that contribute over $800 billion to the U.S. economy annually. 2 years ago, we created an accelerator program called Avanzar, sponsored by Wells Fargo. The program has been so successful that we expanded to 7 states. This year, we have more than 100 entrepreneurs enrolled virtually. The USHCC has also provided more than $200,000 in microgrants to Hispanic-owned businesses and Hispanic Chambers of Commerce to support recovery efforts with the generous sponsorship of Wells Fargo and Cargill. I have proudly served as the chairwoman of the Board of Directors. It has been the honor of my life. This board is a working board, and that is an understatement. They are a tremendous group of volunteer leaders who believe in the mission to serve each of you. My sincerest appreciation to the entire board. I am so proud of the work that we have accomplished. And now, I have the pleasure to pass the torch as the chairwoman of the Board of Directors to my dear friend, Alice Rodriguez, Head of Community, Practices, Engagement and Inclusion at JPMorgan. Alice is a servant leader who brings high-level strategy along with action-oriented solutions. She has served on the Board of Directors for the past 4 years and has led our governance committee. Alice is passionate about growing small businesses into big ones. I know she will make an excellent chair for our organization. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Alice Rodriguez to the virtual stage.
Thank you, Carmen, for those very kind words. And I would be remiss if I didn't take a minute here to thank you for your tremendous leadership over the last 2 years. There's no doubt in my mind that we would not have made as much progress without you. And a warm welcome to all of our conference participants, sending you good wishes of good health to you and your loved ones. Wow, 2020, what a tremendously challenging year. This pandemic really caught us all off guard. And especially our Latino community has been hit very hard due to the government shutdowns as well as the social distancing guidelines. You know, from restaurants to construction to our healthcare workers who have put their lives at risk every day to protect us. You know, according to the CDC in August, Latinos had a 4.6 times higher hospitalization rate. This pandemic-stricken recession has really put a big strain on a very important economic engine, the Latino community. But we can all come together and unite and bring our strengths together to help our country get out of this recession. When you think about the fact that Latinos are 60 million strong and growing, or the fact that 35% of our Gen Zers are Latinos, or the fact that our Latino-owned businesses in the last 10 years have grown 34%, and that compares to 1% for non-Latinos. We all come from diverse backgrounds when you think about that 60 million strong. Approximately 2/3 of Latinos are born here in the US, another 22% are non-citizens, and 13% are foreign born. So immigration definitely plays a very important role in this country and will continue to do so. I myself am the daughter of a Mexican immigrant. And I saw firsthand my mother coming. I didn't see her coming to this country, but obviously she got to this country with a dream of a better life. And I saw her just really have the resilience that was necessary and the perseverance to move forward, to accomplish what she saw as her dreams and her goals. In fact, I saw her in her mid-50s go back to school to get her GED because that was a critical moment for her. And even though she came to this country without a high school education and she came to this country without any wealth, she came here for that dream of a better life. And it impacted me. I was the first one in my family to graduate from college. And I know it was being able to see that kind of resiliency that got me through. As your chair, I am committed to our mission of economic prosperity for the 5 million Hispanic-owned businesses in this country that collectively contribute $800 billion to our economy. But we're not done. There's lots of work left. According to an SBA Commission report, Latino-owned businesses are not as well capitalized as white businesses and have higher failure rates. You have my commitment to work with the staff to stay anchored on our 3 C's: capital, connectivity, as well as capitalization. From a capital perspective, we will work with the SBA, with banks, and other sources of capital providers to really ensure that there's access. From a connectivity perspective, it's all about procurement at the federal level, at the local level, as well as with our Fortune 1000. And finally, capacity, we will work with all of our chambers to ensure that they have all the tools and resources that they need in order to help our small business continue to grow. We will do this together in the ecosystem that makes sense. Corporate partners, our local chambers, as well as our Hispanic business enterprises. We don't need anybody's permission to wait. We do not need to be on the sidelines. We need to amplify the voice that we have. I will end with a quote from my boss that says, "Talent is created equally, however, opportunity is not." You have my commitment that we will move forward to ensure that there's opportunity available to all of our Hispanic-owned businesses. Thank you and enjoy the conference.
Thank you, Madam Chair, for your service and commitment. Friends and colleagues, Ramiro Cavazos.
Thank you, Carmen and Alice, for your beautiful words and your tremendous leadership. We're here today despite our collective obstacles, as a community standing strong together, confronting our challenges with determination and grit. We know that the pain and uncertainty that businesses are experiencing, especially our families, is real. This global pandemic has affected every person on earth, and our community has been hit the hardest. The fact that Latinos comprise most of the essential workforce has resulted in many of us having the most COVID cases and the most hospitalizations. Over a quarter of our Hispanic-owned businesses have been shuttered. Let me be honest with you. For us, this is a heartbreaking situation. It's personal. As a father, I know the difficult conversations that my wife and I have had to have with our children. I feel that the sadness of driving by our favorite restaurants and businesses and witnessing what were once bustling businesses now covered in plywood or sitting empty. So my message today is this: we are 61 million Latinos strong in America. Our businesses contribute $800 billion to the American economy each year. The fact is, as goes the Hispanic business community, so goes the national economy. The economy will only be revived when businesses that are Hispanic are revived also, up and running and successful. Everyone, the U.S. government, local and state, corporate America, and the mainstream community, and we ourselves need to face this reality and accept it. We will be the leaders of our nation's economic recovery. And it's simple math. 70% of the American economy is driven by consumer spending. Small businesses employ 50% of the people in our private sector. And extrapolating from that point, Latino and Latina-owned businesses, small businesses, have grown by 34% over the past 10 years. Yes, that's 34%. When compared to non-Latino-owned businesses, their growth is only 1% during that same time period. So it's only with the involvement of each of you in our Latino business community that the economy will recalibrate, grow, and heal, and come back to normalcy. It's the responsibility of the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce and our network of more than 260 Hispanic chambers across the country that we will be able to find the resources necessary to assist and prepare our members to utilize those resources for a new future, a new economy, and accept that our power as a community is real. There is opportunity in this crisis. There is opportunity to use our voice, and our greatest strength, and you know what that is the love that the Latino community has for one another. We are committed to securing wealth and health for all Latinos, which in turn secures wealth and health for our overall country. Our purpose during these next 3 conference days is to recognize any obstacles that stand in our way, and together, you and I and all of us, to overcome those challenges and lead our way to the road to economic recovery. The road that will scale Latino businesses into wealth. The road that will place more Latinas and more Latinos in Fortune 1000 corporate boardrooms, making decisions, and elected officials throughout our country also. The road also leads to access to capital and access to contracting opportunities to secure our fair share of the economic American pie. In the United States, there are 4.7 million Latino and Latina-owned business owners. Due to this pandemic, we know at least 27% of our community's businesses have been lost. Some of them may not open their doors again. That's why it's important to make sure that our Hispanic-owned businesses have equitable access to the economic relief they need to survive. By our estimates, of the $660 billion made available to businesses through the CARES Act Paycheck Protection Program, approximately 1% of those funds went to Hispanic-owned businesses. 1% is unacceptable. We are committed to increasing our Latino representation in economic relief, assistance, and resources made available to rescue our American economy for years to come. We need our fair share, and we recognize that some Hispanic businesses experienced obstacles. Some didn't possess the technical expertise to apply for some of these funds, or didn't have a working relationship with a traditional bank to gain access to these funds. Some did not have the credit scores needed or the history needed to secure these funds. We understand that, but that's where the U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce will be stepping in to bridge that gap, working with our nationwide network. The training, the technical assistance, and the relationship building is so powerful. We're grateful for the support that we receive from our own partners that have enabled us to do this necessary work. And we know our Latino-owned businesses will come back together stronger, embrace technology, reinvent their business models, and we need to be involved in driving that change. That's why it's important that each of us, our families, our friends, and our loved ones participate in our democracy by filling out the census, registering to vote, and showing up to the polls on November 3rd. Every vote counts. Every vote matters. The Latino electorate is the future of America. Somos el futuro de nuestra democracia. The 2020 election marks the first time that Latinos will be the largest ethnic minority in the electorate with 32 million eligible voters. So get yourself registered and vote, because if you don't, as my father used to say, no vale nada. It doesn't matter if you don't vote. You better vote. The United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce is a nonpartisan pro-business organization. And let me tell you, we're not red or blue. We're red, white, and blue. And our favorite color is green. And we want to put it in your pocketbooks. Our focus is to place leaders like you in positions of power, create shifts in our power structures that have for far too long suppressed or ignored our Latino community's ability to thrive. We can help one another leverage more funding, more contracts, and more wealth for our community. And to that end, we're very proud of the conference events that we've created this year to help support our Hispanic business members. We're also very excited about the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce virtual business matchmaking taking place this Tuesday. These specialized and focused events reflect the expanded mission of the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and it's our economic responsibility. It's our job. We're proud of the partnership that we have with My Business Matches. They're a Hispanic-owned business, global leader in technology, focused on creating procurement and matchmaking opportunities, and they've had success in more than 40 countries around the world. During our conference, there will be workshops on how to do business with the U.S. government, expanding procurement, also with our Fortune 500 corporations and companies, and also helping people how to conduct effective matchmaking meetings. Again, now's the time to embrace technology. We have no choice, but the system needs to work for you and for us. This is the time to get it done, and the United States Hispanic Chamber of Commerce will walk the talk, and we need you to walk with us. And to get it done, we need to remind you to fill out your U.S. Census form. It will only take 10 minutes to fill out your census form, but those 10 minutes will positively impact you and our Latino community for the next 10 years. It's our constitutional right. I know that this is a tough time, but the census is our responsibility as citizens. This census will determine how billions of dollars in federal funding will be spent and distributed in our communities, and determine who your elected representatives in the halls of the United States Congress and Senate will be. So take a look at this important message. Join us. This is an important message for you.
Hola, ¿sabes quién soy? Soy todos los latinos que viven en este país.
Soy todos los hombres.
Y también todas las mujeres.
¡Y los niños!
Soy la que trabaja duro.
Y la que trabaja duro, doble turno.
Triple.
Y soy aquellos que trabajaron duro por nosotros.
Soy el que vino y se quedó.
Y el que nació aquí.
Y la que trajeron de pequeña. To dream big.
Soy cada latino que cuenta en este país. Y cada 10 años, el conteo del censo nos da la oportunidad de beneficiar a nuestras comunidades con clínicas de salud, escuelas o nuevos negocios que generen empleos. Un mejor futuro. El censo ya viene. Y por ley, tu información personal está protegida.
El censo ya viene. Dale forma a tu futuro. Empieza aquí.
Distinguidos miembros, this concludes La Gran Bienvenida. In just a few moments, we will begin our next plenary, 2020 presidential election, the power of the Hispanic vote. We also invite you to join our upcoming general session plenaries on Monday and Tuesday of this week. Further details can be found by clicking the Agenda tab on the left of the screen. Nos vemos enseguida.
Astronaut, rock star, spy, soldier. These are all roles Latinas have filled throughout our country's history. But have you heard their stories? Do you know their names? Probably not. And that's a problem, because when we don't see ourselves in our history books, cultural centers, or national museums, we forget who we are as a nation and who we each have the potential to become. So, it's time to set the record straight. This is her story. PGOT. That's the acronym for Peabody, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. And receiving all 5 is pretty difficult. In fact, only 3 people have ever accomplished this. Rita Moreno is one of them. Born Rosita Dolores Alverio, a Boricua who came to New York City penniless and in the middle of the Depression, Rita Moreno left Puerto Rico as a child and arrived to a cold and bitter New York City with her mother. She was relentlessly harassed and even called a spick. But Rosita found her escape in dance. By age 16, Moreno caught the attention of a talent agent who introduced her to star maker and mogul Louis B. Mayer, co-founder of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Studios. MGM signed Moreno, and she was on her way to Los Angeles. The studio changed her name from Rosita to Rita, and just like that, the star we know today as Rita Moreno was born. At first, she was cast into stereotypical ethnic roles. Actors with any tinge of color fought for the same stereotypical parts, regardless of their actual ethnicity or race. Rita's experience was no exception. But being typecast slowly chipped away at her. The young Moreno just wanted to play a character without racial or sexual overtones, characters that at the time didn't exist for people like her. Until one did. When the role of Anita in West Side Story came around, Rita was determined to get it. Anita was a Boricua in New York City who stood up for herself and voiced her opinions. Her performance in West Side Story earned the actress an Oscar, making Rita Moreno the first Latina to ever do so. After winning the Oscar, Moreno vowed to never take offensive roles like the ones she had been subjected to, ever again. But the roles she wanted still weren't available to her, so she didn't work on a film for 7 years. Instead, she returned to Broadway. In 1975, Rita joined Terrence McNally's The Ritz, where she earned a Tony for her performance. Soon after, Sesame Street was new to the block and revolutionizing children's content. She was featured on The Muppets and won an Emmy. In the early 70s, the actress started in yet another educational program, The Electric Company. When the series released its original soundtrack, it won a Grammy. And then more than 60 years after her acting debut, Moreno was honored with the second ever Peabody Career Achievement Award for her decades of contribution to the arts and entertainment industry. Today, her list of awards and nominations is so long that it has its own Wikipedia page. Among them, America's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Rita Moreno is iconic, to say the least. She is the first instance of representation for so many of us, but she is also just one of many Latinxes who have contributed so much to this country. So tell their stories, share this video, and ask your representative to support the creation of the American Latino Museum, because it's time U.S. history became a true reflection of all Americans.